Alright, week 2 predictions. Week 1 was a lot of fun, although I only went 9-7 on the week. Partly due to those crazy comebacks on primetime, thanks to my second and third favorite teams, the Vikings and Bills. But yeah, enough stalling. Week 2 starts with Redskins-Packers on Thursday night. I don't know why. It seems like a lot of Redskins fans are just like assuming they're going to win this game for some reason. I don't really get why, considering you forget what happened last time Matt LaFleur and Dan Campbell coached against, or not Dan Campbell, Dan Quinn coached against each other. That was the wild card round in 2023 when the Packers won 48 to, what was it, like 16, even though the final score said 32 or whatever, because the stat pad caught in garbage time. But point is, I don't think the Redskins are as talented as everybody thinks. I think the age on the roster is definitely going to hurt them, especially in this game against such a young team. Not to mention they have Micah now, and they don't really have anybody who can block him. I mean, maybe Laramie Tunsil, but you have a rookie left tackle or right tackle going up against Micah. Not to mention you got Devontae Wyatt and what's his name, Rashawn Gary on the same D-line. So I definitely don't think the Redskins match up very favorably against the Packers. So I think the Packers are probably going to win something along the lines of like 24-17. So then we got Rams-Titans. Oh boy, it's time for another ugly game for the Rams versus an AFC South team. This is probably going to be something along the lines of like 17-10, 13-10, something like that. The Rams offense was surprisingly good against the Texans, but I think the Titans defense is pretty solid and somewhat underrated. Jeffrey Simmons is definitely going to cause problems for the Rams O-line. Although I think for the Titans offense, it's probably going to look about the same as it did against the Broncos, because they're going to have the same problems. They're not going to be able to protect Cam Ward from, Jared Verse and Braden Fisk and Kobe Turner and all those other guys. So I think their Titans receivers might have a little bit of an easier time. Probably quite a bit of an easier time, but it's just, how many passes is Cam Ward going to be able to complete with that much pressure constantly in his face with an O-line that is not exactly equipped to block one of the best D-lines in the league. So yeah, I think the score will probably be like 17-10 in favor of the Rams. And then we got Jags-Bengals, which was actually a very entertaining game, an intriguing game, the last time they played in 2023, although that was with Jake Browning. But this could definitely be a shootout, because on paper these teams are kind of constructed pretty similarly, because they both have obviously the Bengals have the best receiver duo in the league. The Jags look to have what could be one of the better ones, and neither defense is very good, in my opinion, and I don't think that's a hot take. Both of them can run the ball sometimes, despite their O-lines not being all that good. So really what I think this game is going to come down to is, can Liam Cohen outcoach Zach Taylor, which maybe, probably, I don't know. I'd probably lean towards Liam Cohen at this point. But the real question is, can Trevor outplay Joey B? And that, I don't think so. So I think the Bengals will probably win this like 34-26. Something like that. So, yeah. And then there's Browns-Ravens. So, again, like I said last week with the Browns and Bengals, the Browns tend to play their division rivals pretty close. So this could be interesting, especially because, I mean, the Browns beat the Ravens last year with Jameis, and now they have Joe Flacco back. So, I mean, and plus, I guess they didn't have Joe Flacco when they played the Ravens in 2023. But I think, given how the Ravens secondary looked against the Bills on Sunday night, they could have some problems, and especially with Jerry Jeudy saying, or somebody asked him, like, what kind of challenges do the Browns or do the Ravens secondary or corners pose, whatever, and he said, like, no challenge. And I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, we'll see how it looks, but I think this could definitely be a pretty close game. And the Ravens started out 0-2 last year. We thought they were going to bounce back in week 2 against the Raiders. They somehow lost. So don't put it past them to start 0-2, although this is at home, so they should win this. But again, last year against the Raiders was also a home game, so who knows. But eventually, I do think the Ravens probably will win this. Probably something along the lines of like 21-13. So, yeah. And then Bills-Jets. I think this could be a sneaky pick for game of the week. Wow, no way. Bills, game of the week again? That's crazy. Yeah, with how the Bills defense looked as well, and how the Jets offense looked, this could also be another shootout. So, I think Justin Fields, he definitely played very well in week 1, and we'll see how he looks against the Bills. I still do not have much confidence in the Bills' defense, at least at the moment. And we'll see how sustainable the Jets' offense, or what they did on offense, is for the rest of the season. Their defense, I still think, is pretty good, especially now they have a real defensive play caller again. And now the real problem is, can they contain Josh Allen? Now, obviously, this is a division game, so this has definitely been a game that's circled on the Jets' schedule for a while now, especially considering it's a home game. But I just don't really see the Jets or Justin Fields being able to outduel Josh Allen in this game. So I think eventually the Bills will probably win it. Who knows, 21-17, 21-20. I don't know. Maybe they kick a game-winning field goal again. Maybe it's even higher scoring. Maybe it's 30-27. Who knows? I'll say, like, this will probably be like, I'll say 27-21 in favor of the Bills. Yeah. So then there's, oh wow, other AFC East game. Patriots, Dolphins. Yeah, both of these teams did not exactly have a great start to the season. And I know this game is in Miami, but man, did the Dolphins look bad. I mean, is it crazy to fire the head coach after week 2? Because I think if they lose this game, and I think maybe they might straight up just fire Mike McDaniel immediately. And the GM for that matter. Freaking Chris Greer. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I mean, the Patriots receivers did not look good. Aside from Stephon, who had like a solid game. But, well, I guess Kayshon Boutte had a good game. But, yeah, I mean, against that terrible Dolphins secondary, who knows? Patriots will probably win this game like freaking 20-10. I don't know, 20-12. Yeah, it's enough about that game. Niners Saints. Yeah, so Brock Purdy's out. George Kittle's out. They both might miss like 4 more weeks. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on. The Saints look competitive against the previous NFC West team they played at home. So, I don't know. I wouldn't even be that surprised if the Saints won this game, but I mean, literally the X factor is just Mac Jones. Is he going to play good against what might not actually somehow be that terrible of a Saints defense, even though they need a safety? I really have no idea. I'm gonna guess I'm gonna guess the Niners win this like 19-16. I think it's definitely gonna be one of the ugliest games of the week. So yeah, enough about that game too. Then we got Bears Lions. This is probably the most, at least one of the most intriguing games, especially in the early afternoon slot. It's the Ben Johnson revenge game, of course, and it's at Ford Field. Kind of surprised they didn't put this in a later window or on primetime or something, but yeah, here we are. The Bears offense kind of shut down after the first quarter. Although they kind of came to life at the end, but that was Vikings doing late game shenanigans. But yeah, I mean the Lions offense looked anemic against the Packers outside of the Isaac Tesla garbage time touchdown. So I really have no idea what to expect from this game. I guess it kind of just depends if the Lions decide to open up the playbook a little more, or if the Bears corners make it back for week 2 or whatever. Like I don't expect that the Lions will lose 2 games in a row. So, and I would definitely not be shocked at all if the Bears start out 0-2. So I guess I'll say Lions win like 24 to 24-17, I guess. I don't know. So then what else is there? Oh yeah, we got Seahawks Steelers. We had the Aaron Rodgers Jets revenge game week 1, and now we got the DK Metcalf Seahawks revenge game in week 2. So yeah, I wonder why they did the schedule like that. Anyway, Seahawks did not look good in the first game, but neither did the Steelers defense. Seahawks got a lot of questions. They got a lot of questions heading into week 2 and heading into the rest of the season. I mean, Njigba looked good, but he's kind of the only thing on their offense that looked good. I guess Zach Charbonnet was all right. O-line is very much still a work in progress. I don't even know if Cooper Kupp did anything. And they don't have a wide receiver 3. So that's a problem. Tariq Woolen got absolutely cooked, especially on like that final drive by the Niners. So I mean, yeah, I really don't think the Seahawks are going to win this game. I mean, given how they played in week 1, I don't think they're going to win many games, but I don't know. The Seahawks are kind of like just the most volatile team in the entire league. Like, you kind of have no idea like what to expect from them on any given week. So who knows? I think the Steelers are probably going to win this something along the lines of like 20 to 13, 20 to 14. Yeah. If Tariq Woolen is starting again, which apparently his starting job is actually in jeopardy, then who knows? Like I guess Witherspoon's probably going to be shadowing Metcalf, and he probably knows how to cover him because they practiced against each other for years. But I mean, this is a crazy question to ask in 2025. But can Tariq Woolen cover Calvin Austin? So, if the Steelers' defense tightens up from their performance in week 1 against the Jets, then they'll probably win. But Seahawks defense, I mean, they held the Niners 17 points and forced 2 turnovers on Brock Purdy. So, I don't know. Niners defense, or sorry, not Niners. The Seahawks defense, they've got pieces, but you really just never know what you're going to get from them. So, yeah, I'll say 20 to 14. Broncos Colts. This, yeah, another game I really have no idea what to expect. The Broncos offense was definitely not good in week 1. Bo threw the ball 40 times for some reason. They kind of seemed to abandon the run game, even though it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either. Aside from that one play by RJ Harvey. But, Colts obviously had about as good a start as you can imagine, but Again, the question, like everybody's been asking, is are the Colts actually good, or are the Dolphins just way worse than we thought? I guess maybe our question will be answered week 2, but for now, I'm going to say the Broncos probably win this in another defensive battle, like 16-10. I guess that was what I predicted for Steelers Jets week 1, but yeah, probably something like that, 16-10, 16-9. But I guess the Broncos do have some injury concerns because Draymond Greenlaw is still out, or Dre Greenlaw. And Evan Ingram's got an injury, so yeah, we'll see how it goes. But I still think the Broncos probably should win this game. I mean, going from playing the Dolphins defense to the Broncos defense is quite a stark difference. So I don't know how Danny Dimes is going to perform, but I think the Broncos will probably win this. The score will probably look close, but it probably won't be that close. It'll probably be along the lines of 16-10. And then we got Panthers-Cardinals. What was that, a rematch of like week 17 last year? This time it's in Arizona. I think last time the Panthers won that game and knocked the Cardinals out of the playoffs. But yeah, I think this will probably be one of the shorter games of the week because both these teams like running the ball. And I think the Cardinals will definitely have more success running the ball this week. I think it'll probably be like 27-17. Panthers definitely did not look good in week 1. Yeah, I mean, there's not much to say out of that. And I mean, I'm just really concerned with the Panthers now. It's like all the good vibes from the end of the season last year and their off season, all the upgrades they made, all the rookies they got, evaporated because they lost to a team that picked higher than them in the draft last year without the trade up to get Travis Hunter. So, or earlier this year, I should say. But yeah, I mean, if the Cardinals don't take care of business and win this game, then we got major questions with them. Because, I mean, they just barely beat the Saints last week. If they don't also beat the Panthers in, a game they should win, then how do they expect to beat the Falcons and the Bucks when they play them? Not to mention the other elite teams in the conference. So, not that I'm calling the Falcons an elite team, by the way, but still. If you can't beat the Panthers and Saints, then how are you going to beat the other teams in your division who are all better than them? So, yeah, Cardinals should win this like 27-17 or something like that. 27-14, 13, I don't know. Then we got the Super Bowl rematch. Eagles-Chiefs. Yeah, the Eagles should win this by at least 20 or 30 again. It'll probably be like 36, 37 to like 10. Yeah, this really should be no different, assuming Jalen Carter doesn't get himself ejected again. So, yeah. I am not intimidated by the Chiefs whatsoever. And then we got Sunday night. Back-to-back primetime games for the Vikings. So we got Falcons-Vikings, the Kirk Cousins revenge game 2.0, I guess, since he left the Vikings because they played each other last year. But this time, it's McCarthy versus Penix instead of Kirko versus the Darnold. So this will definitely be another interesting game. The Falcons' offense looked pretty good, aside from their inefficiencies in the run game. Penix looked quite good. Yeah, 2 total touchdowns, almost 300 yards. Vikings' defense was, I think, a bit underrated in week 1 against the Bears because, I mean, they got a lot of pressures, and they didn't start blitzing till like later in the game, and that definitely got the Bears out of the rhythm and helped get the Vikings back to the game to win it. So, I mean, just on paper, You know, you might think these are two similar teams, but I still don't really trust the Falcons defense, especially with Jeff Ulbrich running defense. I don't trust Raheem Morris's clock management. And I definitely trust KOC and Brian Flores more than both of them. And I think the Vikings have a better roster anyway. So, yeah, I don't think this should be that close. It might be a good game. It'll probably be a good-ish game for most of the game. But I don't think it'll be all that close. I think it'll probably be like along the lines of 28 or 30 to like 17 or 20. So, yeah. And then, oh yeah, I forgot about Giants Cowboys. Yeah, I mean, what is there to say? The Giants are absolute garbage. They might throw Jackson Dart out there at halftime. If the Cowboys want to prove that they are any sort of marginal, maybe distant threat in the NFC, then they got to take care of business in this game, like they have been against the Giants. But yeah, I mean, got to see like Pickens and CD combined for like at least 150 yards. Yeah, I mean, plus, I mean, if Javonte Williams is actually back, then obviously it's hard to run the ball against that Giants front, but still, I mean, there's no reason you shouldn't run for at least 100 yards and throw for like 200. If they have less than 300 yards of offense, then it's like, y'all going to get 300 yards of offense against the Giants, unless they have much yards on special teams. But yeah, Giants are complete trash. They're still probably not really going to be able to do anything against a Cowboys defense that still isn't really that good, especially now they traded Micah. So, yeah, I think the Cowboys should win this game pretty soundly, like 24-7, 24-9. Yeah. And then the finale games of week 2. Bucks, Texans, and Chargers, Raiders. They actually got a late night West Coast game with Chargers, Raiders that starts at 10 o'clock. So that'll be fun, staying up to 1 a.m. Anyway, it's the Jim Harbaugh, Pete Carroll reunion revenge game. I mean, they haven't coached against each other in like 10 years, but it's should definitely be the embodiment of Niners, Seahawks / Chargers, Raiders. Should be a very run-heavy game. Both Ashton Jeanty and Omarion Hampton should at least have each like 70 or 80 yards. Obviously, it's not exactly easy to run the ball against the Chargers front four, but with what we know about these head coaches and their offensive philosophies, they're going to want to run the ball pretty much no matter what, which I like. Although, given what we saw in week 1 against the Chargers secondary, which is still probably better than the Raiders, they might want to throw it a little more, because Justin Herbert had a very, very good game in week 1. Plus, now they actually have some legit weapons for him to throw to. They have his wide receiver 1 from 2 years ago as his number 3, and his first round receiver from a couple years ago is finally breaking out. Not to mention they have Ladd McConkey, who is one of the front runners for or one of the big contenders for Offensive Rookie of the Year last year, and went for over 1,000 yards. So Chargers are definitely looking good on offense. I'm surprised that they played as well as they did, despite not having Rashawn Slater. Joe Alt is still very good. He's back to his natural position at left tackle. But, yeah, I mean, the Chargers, if they want to, establish their dominance in the AFC West, which is very much what they're looking to do, because assuming the Eagles beat the Chiefs again, Chiefs will be 0-2, and the Chargers have a very good opportunity against a not very good Raiders team to start 2-0. Not to mention the Broncos are right there too. They could very well start 2-0. So this is a big game for the Chargers, especially with it being on the road at the Death Star. So, yeah, the Chargers would win this. Like, I'll say probably something like 24 to 13. So I don't think the Raiders are just. I don't really think they're going to be able to score that much on Chargers defense, especially considering. I mean, I'm pretty sure Brock Bowers is banged up, so we'll see if he plays. But yeah, it's a big game. This is definitely an important game in the AFC West. You know, for the Raiders too, this is also an opportunity. If they can manage to pull this one out, even though of course it is at home and it's divisional, then they'll be 2-0 with a chance to be the only 2-0 team in the AFC West, which could be important for them too. So, yeah, we'll see. And then Bucks Texans. I think this will probably also be another ugly Monday night game. Although primetime been popping lately, but this will probably be one of the uglier games because it's like this is just a weird matchup. Because like I was saying the other day, the Texans are just such a weird team. It feels like they just have to win in a very specific way, like the Steelers, where their offense kind of can't really do anything because of a very big deficiency. In the Steelers case, it has been quarterback, and now for the Texans, it's the O-line. So the Bucks offense and Tristan Wirfs might be back too for this game. So that's very important too. If they get him back, then they'll be able to run the ball a lot more effectively. Although of course this is one of the best defenses in the league, so we'll see how that goes. But kind of like what I said about the Rams against the Texans last week, I just don't think the Texans will be able to do enough to outscore the Bucks, because the Bucks should finish this season as one of the best offenses in the league once again. And I mean, do you really think the Texans O-line is going to be able to hold up against Hassan Reddick and Vita Vea and some of the other guys they have? No, not really. So yeah, the Bucks should win this game like probably something like 21-10. So yeah, overall I think it's going to be another fun week, and yeah, be some good games. Prime time should be pretty decent again. So, and a lot of divisional games again, which is important. Those are fun. Really, really good job by the schedule makers, I'd say, for at least the first 2 weeks so far. But we'll see how the games play out. And yeah, go Birds. And I will see you all next time.